Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And yes, guys, it is true. I'm the guy that's given away 2,000 XRP without any questions being asked. All right, we could give it away today, and all you would have to do to enter is make sure you press the like button, make sure you are subscribed, make sure you comment something down below, and also you follow me over on Twitter. It's just 4 little steps, and you can always undo them if you don't want to anymore. It's like pretty damn simple. It doesn't really require effort or anything like that. But if you've done that, you're automatically entered. And the like requirement, I'm going to put in the description below because, you guys need to press that like button. Otherwise, we're not giving away anything. Now, guys, I've been scrolling through Twitter today like I try to do every single day. And what I noticed is that there is a lot of conspiracy right now. First of all, about the election that's coming up. Second of all, about staying outside and the price and just this variable guy 1, 2, 3 type of stuff. But also the completely different side from what's Ripple's ODL looking like, what is the progress, what is some other crypto doing. Like the controversy surrounding these subjects is higher than ever. I know they're talked about all the time. I mean, that's not that crazy, but the controversy, that's what's really at an all-time high at this point. For example, here I just saw this one. Holy crap, it's not Biden, it's his masters, and look what POTUS is doing with his hand. Damn. Things like that get, first of all, a lot of attention, but they also made me think, what's going on? What's in play here? What's happening? Then a couple of announcements from Germany here, which are trending like crazy and people are really, really going berserk about. They sometimes made me think, what's in the macroeconomical, sector happening right now that could influence our price as well. And that's what I talked about briefly in my previous video, in which I talked about the presidential elections and really how I think that those might affect the XRP price. Again, if you have not seen that, check out my previous video posted just before this one, like maybe 2 or 3 hours, a couple hours ago. Check it out, watch it. It's purely about the price, so it's a good one to watch. The conclusion from that one, though, is that a lot of the factors right now that are at play, all this uncertainty, all this controversy is adding to the XRP appeal on the short term. On the longer term, it's actually looking like we might see a crash happening, which partially could be a good thing. I mean, as you can see in here, it's like the S&P 500 is going to crash, and thus crypto could go up like crazy because of it. It could also be, though, that crypto is going to be following it exactly, which is the difficult one that we can't really determine. But let's go on here. Blockchain backer asked on Twitter, and this is hypothetical. Imagine this hypothetical scenario playing out. Bitcoin breaks out into a new all-time high, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. FOMO for Bitcoin is insane, and on financial media everywhere. XRP, though, stays at 30 cents this entire time that this is happening. What would you do? And I find it a very good question, because I think a lot of people within the community right now might have exactly this thought. All right, I'm 100% into XRP is what they might be thinking. What if Bitcoin takes the cake completely on its own? Or what if a coin goes up that I don't have? What's going to happen to me then? Should I sell? Should I do what? And to me, the answer is very, very obvious. And I actually wanted to explain it a little bit earlier or later in the video as well, because a tweet from XRP Owl, which I need to find here for a split second, actually relates to this quite a lot. And again, I'll be talking about it later today as well, but here's just a quick mention of it. Everyone knows where this space is going, and no one knows how to all be rolled out. So I diversify. I can joke about XRP price because I know if it succeeds, I win. If not, I'll be okay. If you're angry about the price, you've either invested too much or haven't diversified enough. And with that, my point here is, if Bitcoin goes up to 20, 30, 40, 50,000, me, Dusty BC, as an individual, will take a lot of profit from this because I have a good chunk in Bitcoin as well. People that are solely into one coin, for example, XRP, they will not get any of the gains. And now, even though I'm going to state that I think what will happen when the big run comes is that a lot of the money goes from the stock market into crypto because it's a kind of a hedge asset, right? Bitcoin will go up like crazy, maybe to 50,000, who knows? And then once a lot of the early guys like us here, the people who've been here for a little while, they have 5 times their money, 10 times their money, whatever. They can sell it off and then move over into altcoins to further get some gains. So to answer the question, you can really just go from your Bitcoin, then the profit that you got, into XRP, because that's the best strategy in my opinion. And thus, I guess to kind of conclude once more, is that I just don't recommend having only one coin. I do recommend having some Bitcoin, so this whole hypothetical doesn't really hit you like a truck. It should be a very nice scenario. This should be a very profitable scenario for you instead of a dreading one. Because a lot of people would be like, oh, it would be so scary if it happened. No, I would be very, very happy if that were to happen. Where's the bad part in it? I don't see it. I only see good stuff. That's what I'm trying to give you guys with this little talk here. Diversify. Make sure you buy a couple of coins. If you have no idea at all, I'm going to help you out for a little second. Get a little bit of Bitcoin. The main reason I'm saying that is because it's the number one right now, is the most known, it has the most institutional adoption, and even though you might not be buying this coin for longevity or use case, it is still the most known hedge asset / store of value, so it's a good bet. Buy yourself some XRP. If you're watching this video, you most likely already have some, but if you don't, again, get into it a little bit. Chainlink, I will not recommend you guys to buy just because I don't know whether we'll be going down like crazy or not. It's at all-time high prices. It's really, really close to there, maybe a couple percent down. You can see it here. It's just 18% down from its all-time high. The problem with that is I don't know what's going to be happening on the short term. It could be that this is the highest it's ever going to go and only go down from here. With XRP and with Bitcoin, we at least have a lot of percentages to go before we get to a point which I know it's going to eventually get to. From that perspective on forward, if you believe that Binance is here to stay, which I think it is, I would also recommend getting some BNB, some ADA, some XLM. It's just to give you guys a little bit of an idea of which coins I normally like to talk about. Get some VeChain as well. And if you have those, I think you're already well on your way to getting yourself a well-diversified bag. And by the way, you don't have to go and split your money evenly. You could also have, for example, if your coin of preference, which you have 100% in, is XRP, go for 25% into some other coins. I see sometimes guys talking on Twitter saying, I'm 100% XRP and I'm proud, yada, yada, yada. Please, guys, maybe you wanna go with that way of doing things. Okay, if you want to follow the hype, do that. If you want to make a financial decision, just a smart one, again, just from my perspective, not financial advice, go and diversify and get yourself a couple of different coins. And having talked about VeChain a lot in the past, I know it's a very solid coin. They have a good partnership with PwC, and PwC is not standing still. The partnership's not standing still. And it's sometimes important to not look at the crypto itself, how they are doing, but also at the companies that they're working with. For example, with Ripple, we earlier talked about Accenture, how they're dimming down a little bit, which is a negative thing for Ripple. But also some articles I'm going to be talking about later today is mostly about how Ripple's expansion can't really be backed. They're doing so much expansion, it's not really possible to keep up. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse said the company has more demand for its XRP cross-border payments product, ODL, than it can actually currently facilitate. Brad also says demand for ODL is even outpacing Ripple's overarching international payments platform. And that is not because of Ripple themselves that this announcement is good. It's because those partners are going on so well here to get Ripple snowballing, right? Because if you look at it, it's actually not a very positive statement from Ripple. It's basically just saying Ripple can't keep up with demand. Is that good or bad? Well, the demand comes mostly from these outside companies which want to hop on, but also because I personally think the snowball effect is now taking place. A lot of these guys, these companies have been trialing it or have been trying it out themselves. They can vouch for others and so on and so forth. So the companies that Ripple is working with here are putting some legitimacy for the next ones to come. Even though Ripple themselves apparently here can't even handle it all, which is the negative part. In the end, though, it's a very positive thing, and it's very, very nice to see. Again, I'll talk a little bit more about that later on, but let's see this one. Why Ripple is intentionally smothering the growth of its XRP-based payments product. It's mostly the article that is here. It's like almost the same thing, but just a little bit different. Distributed ledger firm Ripple, I would mostly call it fintech company or fintech firm Ripple, is working tirelessly to expand the utility of its cross-border remittance token XRP. The company's value proposition is low fees and fast transaction times using the XRP crypto, which makes the tech quite appealing to banks and remittance providers. However, yada yada yada, as time moves on here, they're getting boosted, so to speak, and to ensure that this liquidity is always enough, which you always need to have, right? Oh, let's actually start from the top here. Ripple's XRP-based on-demand liquidity service matches the firm with crypto exchanges and financial institutions, making it possible for fiat transactions to be settled within seconds. This is typically easy as long as there is enough liquidity in the XRP marketplace. To ensure that this liquidity is always enough, Ripple had to limit the growth of XRP payment product. Brad Garlinghouse has revealed that during a phone interview with Modern Consensus, where he postulated the company has actually throttled that growth because one of the things that's important when using ODL is you have to have really good liquidity on both sides of the transaction. And so if XRP doesn't have enough liquidity in the marketplace, then you can't put as much demand through. This is one of the most important statements within the last quarter of this year, as it just shows once more that the priority change that Ripple did, which happened, I think the beginning of this year, where they changed from going from smaller parties with lots of volume to loads of parties with smaller volume, was most likely because if you do that big guy, you're not really going to have room left for others, and it's really not going to get you that much further along the road anyway. Right? So the priority switch from Ripple was not because they couldn't do it anymore or things like that, and also the lack in ODL volume is not because they can't, it's just because they most likely should not, all right? They most likely have to arrange more things before they can get the whole circle round, which is also an important distinction to make here. It's not always Ripple's fault with these things either, guys. Sometimes it's the companies, sometimes it's Ripple. It's a 50-50. But sometimes I see people say that Ripple doesn't, do enough, or Ripple's useless, things like that. Very often, guys, it's the companies that have their issues. And sometimes, like right now, we've also seen that some of these companies, they just want to hop onto XRP, but they're waiting for liquidity to become higher or for the corridors to be going up. Like Santander, we saw that with. Bank of America, we saw some of those hints with. And now maybe it's also the other way around, that it's not only the companies, but also Ripple, where it's like some companies want to hop on and Ripple's like, well, I'm sorry, but we can't help you out just quite yet. You'll have to wait a couple of months. Again, that's just some speculation, though. That's just some thoughts. Later today, I'll be talking a little bit more about the price. I went over this $1 article a little bit earlier, but I don't know. It just did not do well on YouTube here. I think it's because I've been posting a lot of videos today. Like in the last 24 hours, I think I posted 5, which is way more than I usually do. But I think also that's why it only got 1,000 views in 4 hours, where it normally gets about 3,000 in that time. So again, I want to talk a little bit more about the price, talk a little bit more about the intelligent investor, just to make sure that everybody gets it. Because in the end, I also see here somebody say that, actually the last comment here, Dusty, why have I seen your videos kind of negative and other days very positive? Please stick to a plan. 43,000 subscribers are watching. Can't have it both ways. People get scared and sell. You have a big influence with that big of an audience. Thanks and greetings from Costa Rica by Diego River. Problem is though, most of my videos are always positive about XRP. Right? The title may be negative, and some smaller talks in there might be negative. But in the end, it's always a positive thing. Like, I always talk positively in the end. As you guys know, I'm very bullish about this stuff. So even if you got the wrong message once, or you think I'm very negative about a coin, no, not the case, guys. Mostly, I'm very, very positive. Otherwise, I'll definitely note it that I've changed my ideals or something like that. But as of this point, I'm holding XRP, and I'm not thinking about selling it whatsoever, at all. All right, so don't get me wrong, guys. Still positive. Maybe on the short term, I'm like, oh, the price could go down a little bit. But don't get that for negativity for the progress of the coin. It might just be about the price, because I want to help out everybody that I can. All right, I'm always honest with what I think is going to happen to the price, because I think that gets you the furthest in the long run. Guys, thank you all for watching. Take care, everybody, and have a very nice day. Also, enjoy your weekend. Please, guys, enjoy it and have a very good one.